and Daddy really love each other and they have a really special hug. It was kind of like that, but then they got into the science of it, and I
Really
still
special hug. The best hug of my life. Hello, welcome back to Sextras,
where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey, and I hate taking pictures of myself.
I love it.
I know.
Hi, I'm Maria, and my actual name is Maria Jose, not Maria, so I've actually been lying every single week, but whatever, we can still maintain the lie of hi, I'm Maria.
No, we can't. It's forever ruined.
The fourth wall has been broken.
You've betrayed the trust of our many fans. We are actually recording together this week. This is like the second time we've ever done it.
Literally, the most asked question I get about the podcast is, how do you guys do it? If Honey's in London, how do you guys record? And I'm like, we literally have never recorded together. We'd only done it once, and it was kind of a process. It took us about an hour to even figure out what we wanted to do about the microphone. So
yeah, we still haven't hacked it, but
yeah, we're better at doing it not together than together.
Yeah, but we always have so many technical issues.
So many. I'm so sick of it. Every time it happens as well now, it's just kind of my face just goes into yeah, of course, of course.
I just expect it to happen. I'm not even surprised anymore.
Yeah, me too.
But this week, we are going to give you guys a little background to our sexual journeys.
Yeah.
And how our understanding of sex came to be.
Yeah, I wanted to call when I was saying to Honey oh, what should we do, I was we should do the genesis, you know. So it's kind of the birth of our sex stories, sex lives, sexual beings, and romantic and sensual people.
I feel like it's a bit blasphemous to call it the genesis.
Yeah, but it's the beginning.
True. Okay, so we asked you guys what sexual myths you believed when you were younger, and what you believed about sex. You know, when you're young and you just believe stupid things about sex.
When you don't really know what it's something, but you don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, we asked you guys, and also everyone's been really shit at sending us their responses, but we are starting a competition in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna give the best segment submission every week. We're gonna send you a free sticker.
Yeah, and we're gonna post the stickers at some point, when this episode is before this episode is out. We're gonna post the stickers so you guys can have a look at if you want to have a look at those, go to Sextras Podcast on Instagram.
Follow us.
And share it. We put little drawings for every episode there, so if you are thinking of oh, I don't know how to share it, those are good to share.
Yeah, Maria does drawings every week.
Yeah.
She's so talented. Okay, but let's get into the segment.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, the first sexual myth that you guys believed is that both people come at the same time.
I see why you'd believe that. In movies, they always make it seem like that, don't you think?
Porn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking more movies like when I was a kid and you'd watch it, and then it's always like the guy's on top, and then they both go like, oh, and then the guy like goes
rolls off.
Yeah, the guy gets off her, and then they just go to sleep. It's like, what? That's just not how it happens at all.
Imagine that was how it happened. You just have sex as soon as you're done. Okay, good night.
Yeah, and what, you just like leave the cum inside you?
I'd be so annoyed if someone finished having sex with me, rolls off me, first of all. Like, why are you so eager to get away?
No, it's fine if they roll off, because, you know, like, I'm not that strong. I don't need them on top of me.
Yeah, but you still want the contact. You don't want to be, like, two separate entities, like, on the bed.
I don't know. I don't think it's that deep. Like, you can still be together. It's just you're not on top of each other.
Yeah, but then he goes to sleep. Like, no.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah, in the
no.
movies.
I mean,
like...
everything about sex in the movies is a myth.
I thought that when you wanted a baby, you went to the doctor and got a pill, and then you got pregnant.
I don't think I really, like, cared about pregnancy when it, like, I don't think I really thought, like, oh, how does that happen? I was just like, yeah, it just happens.
Oh, I feel like I don't know.
But maybe because you, like, I'm thinking maybe people, because they have siblings, and then, like, if you have younger siblings.
Yeah, I guess you see your mum pregnant.
Oh, it would have been so weird to see my mum pregnant.
I don't really remember my mum pregnant that much. Because, like, I was 5, like, the last time that I saw her pregnant, and I don't remember it very well.
Yeah. I can't... no.
It's funny, because, like, instead of going to the doctor and getting a pill and getting pregnant, it's actually the opposite.
Yeah. When I was 9, I thought sex was when two people slept in a bed together naked. I think I thought that too.
Yeah.
I think I thought it was, like, the biggest sin. I mean, not that I was religious. Like,
really?
Like, I thought it was, like, the, like, most adult thing you could do would be to, like, see someone else naked. Like, in like, someone of the opposite sex naked. And, like, in a bed.
Weird. Yeah, I feel like everyone, I don't know, I definitely thought at one point it was like just like either stand like a naked hug or like in a bed naked together.
Yeah, like in Sims. I was so obsessed with making my Sims have sex.
Once my sister made her sim die because it like had too much sex.
That's so... I didn't
my
even
little
know
sister, she was
that.
so young when that happened. I remember it was so funny.
Did she know what it was?
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing she kind of got what it was, but in a vague way.
Yeah, but you can't even see. They just go in the bed and then it's like they go in like a little roly-poly.
Yeah, but I think you know that it's something to do with like love or something, because it doesn't have like little hearts.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like it's called like woohoo, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like like yes, Sims. Teaching kids that it's something fun.
We love that sex positivity.
That you had sex for the entire night. Oh wow. Did I think that? I don't know.
I don't think I thought that.
That's a lot of work. I guess maybe you wouldn't know exactly what it is, so then it's like the entire night seems like it's fine, you know?
Yeah. That would be so intense. That only absolute sluts gave blowjobs and no one did oral. It was just for weird fetish porn. It's interesting that you thought it was just for like fetish porn, because I feel like if you were watching any porn, they have blowjobs. So did you just think every porn was fetish porn?
Yeah, but maybe she thought it was like one of those things that were like only in porn, rather. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a bit weird to do. And like it was extreme and wild.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I did think it was really extreme when I was younger.
Yeah, I did for sure.
Like, I was like, everyone does this? No, surely not.
Yeah, I remember, like, I was terrified before I gave my first blowjob. I thought the PP went inside, no movement, just chilling inside.
Just chilling. Just relaxing.
To be fair, I feel like, you know, when they tell you about, like, the sperm swimming and the egg, like, you do see it more as, like, obviously it just has to chill inside so it can, like, go out, you know?
Yeah, I feel like they didn't really explain that very well in sex ed.
Yeah, I feel like I don't remember, like, understanding that, like, the guy comes and then that's when the sperm comes out. I think I just thought that, like, you just put it and then the sperm comes out by itself, you know?
Yeah, no, same. I just don't think they really explained anything very well in sex ed.
But you know that, like, what this person sent in, that how, like, just chilling inside, it's a thing. Like, Mormons do that. So they
So
it's
come.
called soaking. It's called soaking. You so they don't, like, have sex, like, actually have sex. That this is what they think. They just put the dick inside and then, like, neither of them move and it's just, like, there.
What's the point? Does it feel good?
I don't know, but it really is a thing that Mormons do.
Yeah, no, I believe
It's
you.
so weird.
That is so weird. But I mean, Mormons are fucking
Also, I don't
weird.
get, like, I don't know, to me that just makes no sense. Like, of course, like, how does it take away from, like,
the dick is already inside.
Yeah. Like, I get more even doing anal, you know, so you don't have sex.
I will never, ever understand
No, but I get that more than the soaking thing. If you're trying to avoid actual sex because you think it's a sin. And, like, the vagina hole is sacred or whatever.
But, like, the feeling of a dick in your ass, does that not feel wrong? Not trying to shame anyone who's, like, into anal. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, before anything else, before you feel anything else, that's the first thing you feel.
Yeah, true. That would be scary. But yeah.
My teacher in year 4 told me that if I held a boy's hand, I would get pregnant.
That's so bad.
Yeah, that's so bad.
That's like Mexican Catholic school for you.
Why? Why is it wrong to hold someone's hand?
Yeah, that's so bad.
That would, like, scar you for life.
To be fair, I've been reading, well, I read this thing, that this Mexican American woman wrote, and she's sort of writing about how, like sexuality as, like, a Mexican woman and, like, within that context, and she talks a lot about how, like, your mums and, like, your grandma and stuff like that will always tell you, like, be careful of boys, like, don't be left alone in a room with boys, even if it's your family, like...
Really?
Yeah, and then I listened to this podcast and this Mexican girl was saying the same thing, how the only thing she remembers her mum telling her about sex is, like, her saying, be careful when you go to your friends' houses, like, don't be left alone in rooms with the brother, like, be careful if they have brothers, be careful if they have, like, uncles around, like, all of that shit, and it's always this, like, huge warning. And I feel like I remember, like, my grandma, like, doesn't let us go to the bathroom alone, and, like, she's always said that kind of thing, like, be careful with boys, like, don't let boys near you and stuff.
Do your mum say that to you too?
Yeah, like, I've always been warned against boys and, like, how boys will be boys and, like, boys are animals and, like, they only want one thing from you. And I feel like it's quite a Mexican thing. Like, you're always very taught that, like, boys will be out to get you and you have to stop them.
That's so fucked up.
And you have to not get yourself in those situations, yeah. It's really, like, toxic the way I feel like Mexican, well, like, Latino girls, maybe. I don't know, I don't want to generalize, but I feel like from what I've been hearing and reading, it seems like it's quite a thing, and I feel like it's something I experience as well. It's kind of scary.
That's so bad. Yeah, even, like, when I hear about Catholic school in the UK, I'm like, that just sounds so intense.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that at all.
Yeah. It's so terrible. It's just kind of like, I don't really get it. I feel like the best way to prevent bad things from happening is from giving the people the most information that they can possibly have, so then you feel equipped in all situations, rather than trying to hide the information and like making it like pushing it away because you think it's a bad thing, and by shedding light to it, it's gonna like seem like it's okay, but it's not really that. It's about protecting people, and rather than being like, oh, be careful of boys, like teach boys that that's not the way it should be, rather than teach girls that this is just the way that they have to live their lives now. Because, yeah. But you don't get pregnant holding a boy's hand, just FYI, guys.
Just to clarify. You also don't get pregnant if you kiss someone. I know so many people think that when they're younger.
Yeah. That sex was just penis plus vagina.
The biggest myth there is.
Yeah, baby.
It's all about the economy, guys. I've been reading about this.
I definitely thought it was just penis and vagina. Like 100%.
I think, like, I knew that gay people existed. I just didn't think they had sex.
I didn't even know gay people existed. I don't even know when I found out they, like, actually existed. Or, like, I always thought it was a gross thing. My grandma told me this story. That when I was, like, 10 and we'd just moved to London, we went to Abbey Road to take the little like Abbey Road picture because I have 3 siblings, so you know it's 4 of us.
So you're basically the Beatles.
Yeah, basically. And apparently we got out of the tube station and there was like a gay couple getting married or something, and I went, ew, like how bad is that?
That's so bad.
And look at me now.
Yeah, look how you've evolved.
But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I knew it was a thing, but I always thought it was like a disgusting, like, ew, like look at those disgusting people kind of thing. Like I always thought it was a wrong thing. Yeah. I don't remember when I actually realized it was a thing that like really there wasn't anything wrong with it.
Yeah, because I don't really think that I knew. It's not like I had loads of gay people around me when I was growing up. So I don't know why I didn't think that, but I guess it's just London.
Yeah. I don't even remember ever even hearing that it was bad. Like, I don't know how I even thought that. I'm guessing I must have heard it somewhere.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't remember. And then, like, all of a sudden, I feel like I just realised it wasn't. It's not like I was ever taught it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not even hearing it. It's just the fact that you don't see it. So then it's something new and you're like, oh, what is that? Like, if I had never seen blood coming out of my vagina, I'd be like, ew.
Do you remember the first time we'd never watched gay porn, so we watched it together?
Why did we do that? I don't think we'd even watched straight porn.
No, I definitely had. No. I'm pretty sure we had. We were just like, oh no, or I definitely had. I'm 100% sure I had, and I remember we were together and we were like, oh,
I probably had
that.
Why did we do that?
We were a bit scarred, I remember.
Yeah, we were like, oh, what's happening? I don't think I've even watched gay porn since then.
No,
I mean, I never watched porn. Like, I think I probably watched
neither.
porn like twice since then.
Oh no, I definitely more times than that. But yeah, I don't think I've watched gay porn since then. I think it like really scarred me a little bit. But I feel like I should revisit it, you know, so I can de-traumatize myself.
That you had to wait till marriage. Yeah, I definitely didn't think this. Because my parents weren't married. So.
Yeah, I did. I thought that like... Well, I just didn't think that sex was really a thing. I thought it was just marriage. But then when I guess when I knew sex was a thing, I did think that you had to be married.
I think so many people around me thought that. And then because I obviously don't come from like a marriage sex, I was always the one that had to be like, no. Yeah. I was the one that always had to be like, no, I'm not. Like, my mom's not married. Like, you don't have to be married. Because I feel like the way people talk about it is, like, you literally are unable to have sex until you're married, as if, like, it can't just happen. Like, I don't know. I kind of understand why people think that. Because you don't think, when you're young, you don't think, why would people not be able to. You just kind of think like, oh, it's just like the law, so you don't do it or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. The last one is, I went to an all-boys school and I was scared of pregnancy.
Yeah, I'm scared of pregnancy.
I had a dream literally last night that I was pregnant and I had to tell my mom.
Oh, wow.
And it was really traumatic.
That's why you should use condoms every time you have sex.
Yeah, we're gonna make some sextress condoms, guys, don't worry. Just for you, so you get to see our faces right before you have sex. No, I'm joking. I told my boyfriend we were gonna get sextress condoms and he was like, I don't really know how I feel about people seeing your face right before they have sex.
No, but this is my idea is we should get like personalized condoms so you can get like your like your face on it. So I feel like when your boyfriend opens the packet, then he sees your face.
Yeah, so if he tries to cheat. But you can't tell that it has your face on it until you open it. Like, it's not on like the wrapper, it's on the actual
until it feels
condom.
the warmth of skin.
It's like heat induced. The tip of the dick is your face.
Yeah, it's like activation ID with the tip of your dick.
With like the vaginal fluid. And then he takes his dick out and takes the condom off and he's like, fuck. Anyway, yeah, if anyone wants to put our business plan into action,
should we go on Dragon's Den? This is such a good business.
If anyone wants to sponsor us, Durex, if you're out there, or like Hanks, I know that's like a more sustainable condom company. You know? We're here, we're waiting. We're students.
Yeah. Okay, should we get into the actual episode?
Yeah.
So, Hun, when's the first, like, what's your first memory of sex?
My first memory. I remember, like, I don't know if this is my first memory about hearing about sex, because I think I definitely heard about sex before this, but I just don't remember. Like, I was at the pub as like an 8-year-old, such a legend, with my mom and like her friends, and then her friend was like, oh, I saw a couple having sex today, and everyone was like, shh, 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 shh. And they were like looking at me like, like, and then they were like, oh my god, where? And he's like, yeah, I saw them like rolled up in a carpet through the window when I went past on the bus. And I just remember being like, like, register that. What is sex? What is that?
So your first memory is like about it being hush hush?
Yeah, because people being like, oh, because there's a child, like, shh. What about you?
I actually have no idea what my first memory of sex is, but I feel like when I was younger, I do remember having this, like, reaction and, like, want, and, like, yeah, I don't know, I just, like, loved romance and love, and, like, I love the whole, like, like, when the princess and the prince find each other and they, like, finally kiss, and, like, yeah, I used to be really into that, but I don't remember about sex. I don't remember the first time hearing about it. I think it must have been like when I got the sex ed talk at school, but even then I didn't like actually think that that's what sex was. Like I didn't really put two and two together. But yeah, my sex talk was very much like, I went to a private Catholic school, so it was very much like just telling like what, like the journey of the sperm to the egg, but nothing really about, like, I really don't remember, like, ever seeing a penis or a vagina. Like, I don't even remember them saying those words or, like, saying that they were involved. I think that I really remember them being like, yeah, when, like, your parents really love each other, like, that kind of thing. Like, you know, in movies when they're like, yeah, you know, when mummy and daddy really love each other and they have a really special hug. It was kind of like that, but then they got into the science of it, and I
Really special hug. The best hug of my life.
But yeah, and I remember, like, going away from that talk and still really, like, full-heartedly, I guess this was my sex myth, that I really believed that to get pregnant you had to get married, and then, like, you, like, sat down with your husband and you, like, talked about the kind of baby you want, and then you, like, pray to God and you're like, oh God, we want this baby, like, we want it to be a girl, and then you were pregnant. Like, I really believe that, even after I got told what sex actually was and what had to happen.
That's crazy. So I feel like it's so bad that people talk about sex, like, when it's someone that you really love, because then obviously when you're young you really, like, cling on to those ideas, and then when stuff like sexual assault happens, which everyone knows it happens, we're not trying to pretend it doesn't, if people think, oh well, this wasn't with someone that I really love, they don't have the awareness or the ability to be like, that was sex. They don't know what it is. They just, it feels wrong. But I've heard of so many cases where people are like, oh, it's just someone, like, touching me. It wasn't sex. Or, like, you don't have the name to be able, like,
Yeah.
to label what it is or whatever.
Well, I think I was taught, like, very much about sex, like, in terms of having a baby. Like, it was just all for that purpose. But do you remember the first time, like, you actually got told what sex was? Like, do you remember your talk or not really?
Yeah, I remember when my mom gave me the talk.
But did you already know what sex was before she told you? Or was that the first time you knew?
I was, like, 8. And we were walking to school. We were on Wood Lane in London. And she was like, so, like, I have to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so basically when people are older, they have, I don't think she said when people love each other. Like, I don't remember her saying that. The way that babies are made is people have sex and the penis goes in the vagina and then that makes a baby. And then the woman gets pregnant, and then the woman has a baby inside her, and then she gives birth, and blah, blah, blah. It was just very, like, that was it. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I was like, oh, so you've had sex? And she was like, yeah. And I remember she, like, laughed. I was like, okay.
Do you remember ever being, like, curious? Because you always hear those stories of, like, kids that would, like, kiss their friends or, like, play doctor or, like, whatever with their friends and, like, touch each other. Did you ever do that or, like, talk about sex when you were, like, quite young with your friends and before people were actually...
Yeah, well, when I was, like, 9 or 10, all of my friends knew about sex. And because they had, like, older siblings. I think all of my friends in primary school had older siblings. It was really weird. And yeah, they would all just talk about it, like blowjobs and stuff. And I would just be like, yeah, I know what that is. But I didn't know what it was. And then people would just make jokes about it. And we would always, like,
That's
talked
so
about
young.
it.
Like,
I know. Like year 5 and year 6.
Yeah, like people hadn't even, like, gone through puberty really.
It was so weird. And yeah, they would just always talk about it, and I would be like, oh, just try and keep up with the jokes, I think. I don't know. And then this one time my mom was, like, doing this dance at home, like, and, like, rubbing her body or whatever, and I was like, ha 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 ha. She was like, what? I'm like, oh, it looks like you're having sex. No, I think I said, it looks like you're doing it. And she was like, what's it? And I was like, sex. She was like, what do you mean? Is that what you talk about with your friends? I really hope that's not what you talk about with your friends. And I was like, no, I promise. But I was like, yes. And then I remember being like, oh no, this is so bad that we talk about this and now we have to stop.
Oh, really?
And now she knows.
Aww. So around that age, like, did you want to kiss boys and, like, were you curious or were you kind of, like, grossed out?
I was so curious. I had the biggest crush on this boy who went to my school for so long, like 2-3 years. And everyone knew that I liked him and everyone knew that he liked me, but we just didn't really talk about it. We were friends and we hung out like every day. And I remember just being like, oh my god, I really hope he kisses me. Like, when's he gonna kiss me? But it never happened. Aww. Sadly.
Sad times.
But like, I remember so vividly the feeling of liking him so much and like the excitement. Because it was unlike anything I had felt before. What about you? Did you like kiss boys when you were younger or stuff like that?
I remember when I was quite young, like, I had a boyfriend. I always had, like, boys at school that I liked and that I was, like, yeah, like, my boyfriend. And, yeah, I always sort of, like, wanted that. And it was always about boys and, like, what boys we could go out with and what boys we could talk to and stuff. But I don't think I was all that curious, like, as I've been saying. Like, I just don't really remember being curious at all about sex or, like, kissing that much or anything like that. Like, I knew kissing was, like, a sign that you were, like, in love or, like, that kind of thing. But it wasn't that I was curious about actually knowing what it was like to kiss someone or that kind of thing. It was more about what it meant and, like, yeah, like, having the boy and, like, being like a princess kind of thing. But
so it was more like about the romance than the sex.
100%. I feel like I only ever really started like thinking about sex and wanting sex, like, I'd literally say when I was around like I must have been so old, like genuinely like 14. Like 14, 15. I must have been quite old because I remember having crushes but nothing ever, like, not desire.
Yeah, I remember when we were like 13, you being like, oh, I really want a boyfriend. But I remember so distinctly the kind of era that it was in, like, in our growing up. And, like, the whole perks of being a wallflower phase and the faults in our stars phase.
Like, I was so in love with love. I think I've always been really in love with love, and it's more that than, like, sex. That's driven me. I do remember, like, around, like, I think it must have been around 12-ish when I started, like, learning what sex actually was. And, like,
because we had more sex ed.
Yeah, and then I think I knew even before that, because that's, like, when I started watching, like, you know, when you start watching, like, Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars, and, like, I started, like, reading, like, One Direction fan fiction, and it's, like, all really, like, disgustingly slutty. And, like, I should not have been reading that at 12 years old. But I think that's when I kind of started, like, learning what it was and being like, okay, I see.
What about, like, do you remember when you first heard about people in our year at school having sex? Or, like, doing sexual stuff?
Yeah, I remember when people in our year started doing, like, giving blowjobs and hand jobs and things like that. And I remember, like, I was always really horrible about it. And, like, one of the people said in the submissions how, like, really slutty people gave blowjobs. Like, I feel like in my mind at that age, I was like, oh, like, everyone that's doing that is so slutty. But, like, I only really thought that about the girls as well. Like, I didn't care that the guys were doing it, which is so fucked up.
I don't think we even heard about the guys doing it. It was always
the gossip about the girl who did it. Yeah, 100%. And, like, it was always the girl that was going around and doing it with all the guys. But, like, you never talked about the guys.
Yeah, I don't think, like, it was
no
even, like, we realised that was why we thought the girl was slutty or whatever. Like, I think it was just so ingrained in the way that young people speak about sex, because that's how you hear other people speaking about sex. It's not Like, you don't even know what it is. So
Yeah,
why is it like
100%.
that? It just makes no sense.
And I think that's still the case now, because like it's my sister's like at that age now where everyone's starting to do that, and like even the way she's spoken to me about it before, it's like, oh yeah, but like this girl, she's kind of slutty, like she's done this and this and this with this and this and this guy. And yeah, I really like remember being like quite horrible about the girls that were like doing and that stuff. And I think I was just jealous. Like I knew it was more out of like, oh, no one wants to do that with me. Like no one wants me to do that to them. And I think it was just completely out of jealousy and like,
and it's
completely
also
unfounded. And I feel really bad about it now. And I've apologized. But like, yeah, it makes me really sad that girls think like that and that I thought like that.
I feel like it is just this kind of culture of setting girls against each other.
100%.
And I feel like it's also, you feel like you're left out of something. Growing up, you don't feel like you're growing up as fast as other people, so then you kind of want that to happen.
Yeah, and you feel like it's like saying something that's wrong about you when it's really not. Like that's still so young to be doing that when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
And I remember like, because we both had our first kisses when we were 15.
Yeah.
And I remember being like thinking like it's getting to a point that it's like it's getting too late for me. Like,
yeah, I was like, oh, it's so
I was
embarrassing.
really worried. Yeah.
And I
But it's
remember
not. It's so 15 is so young.
it's so young. And oh my god, I remember so clearly when I had my first kiss, because we were friends, but we weren't as close at the time. And I remember, because like you're still my best friend, so I messaged you guys being like, guys, I have to tell you something. Like, I just want to tell you first before you find out through other people, because I was like, I really don't want them to think that I'm like being a slut or whatever. And feeling like I had to like justify it to you, like, guys, I got with this guy at a party and like this is what happened, blah 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 blah. And then I remember feeling that like that afterwards when people would ask me about it at school, and because I went through a bit of a phase of kissing loads of people at parties. And I remember feeling like I really had to justify it to people if they brought it up, because other girls would bring it up in kind of like a envious way. It was really weird, but to me that's not what it felt like. Like looking back, I can recognize that that's what it felt, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But at the time I felt like they were judging me, so I was like, yeah, no, it's just because of this, and like this is what happened, and oh, I swear, like, I'm not a slut.
It's such a weird one, because like the people that are doing the sexual things are the cool people, but then you have to do it to be cool, but then if you're doing it then you're a slut, so then it's like
yeah. Do you think there's like anything you'll look back in 5 years and be like, oh, I can't believe I believed that about sex when I was 20, or I can't believe
that's an
I
interesting
thought
question. Oh wow, that's quite interesting. I hope so. I hope that you know what? I hope that I look back and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that I thought that was the only way I could come. Like, look at the like million fucking ways that I can actually come, and that I'm coming, like the ways that I'm coming now. That's what I want for myself. What about you?
I don't know. I feel like every week there's something I think about sex that I'm like, I can't believe I thought that. But then it will constantly be fluctuating. Like, I'm in two minds about so many things to do with sex that I feel like there will probably be quite a few things.
Yeah. Do you have any, I don't know if it's quite a cliche question, but do you have any anything that you wish that you told yourself, like when you were just learning what sex was, that someone would have told you, or that you could go back and tell young honey?
Like 5 years ago, or when I was like 10?
5 years ago. Or like 6 years ago, I don't know.
I feel like I wish I
or
would
like
have known.
what age would you go back to? That's what Lee says.
What age would I go back to? Yeah, probably like 15. I just want to know that you don't have to do stuff. And if you do choose to do stuff, it doesn't make you any different It doesn't really change anything about you. It's just something that you've done. There's nothing inherently good or bad in doing those things. It's just another thing you've done in your life, as long as you're ready. And I wish I knew how to say no. I wish that we were taught how to say no. Not that I've ever been in a terrible position. I just wish that was something I was taught if I ever needed it, or if I ever need it in future.
I feel like even knowing how to say no and not a completely what am I trying to say? As in I feel like knowing how to say no even in situations that it's not a scary situation, just knowing that you can just say no to getting with this guy at this random party. Even just that. You're allowed to not want to do that. You're allowed to not let the guy finger you even if you've been getting off for 2 hours. And
I wish there was more taught about how to actually do it, rather than just being oh, you can say no. How do you do it in a situation like that?
I wish I told myself rather than that, it's more just because this person is showing interest in you and giving you attention, they just want to have sex with you, and that really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're great, it doesn't mean that you're super pretty, it doesn't mean anything. They literally just want to have sex with you, and you could be ugly and they'd still want to have sex with you, so it actually doesn't say anything. So don't give so much importance to those guys that are making you feel like you're pretty, because they're lying. It's a lie. It doesn't mean anything.
And you can hear so many people saying, oh, they're using you. But when you hear that, what does that mean? It means they are literally, they see you as a means to an end. They see you as what you can do for them.
To be fair, I'm not going to act like a victim. I do the same. I will give guys attention just because I want to sleep with them, not because I think anything of them.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot of times I gave it too much worth, too much value, that validation. That was it was fake validation, and I wish I didn't see it as so much. I wish I saw other things as more valuable than that kind of response from guys.
And I don't think guys see it in the same way, and that is kind of why I wanted to stress the using thing, because we just don't live in a world where girls can use guys when they're 15 to kiss them. It's just out of the question that would even be an option, which is so weird because it happens all the time the other way around.
Yeah. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. I was gonna ask other stuff, but I feel like we shouldn't keep talking.
Okay. Well, should we talk about something we saw on the internet this week then?
Sure. I saw Briss Truth, and that was about someone asking that they caught feelings for they're thinking they're catching feelings for their friends with benefits, and what they should do.
Well, you can listen to our Fuck Buddy episode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's our advice. No, I'm joking.
First frame of reference.
But yeah, then
I actually know. I know what you should do. Realistically, just because they don't want anything serious, that doesn't really mean anything. The whole serious thing, all of this worry is gonna come from thinking about labels and whether you guys are together or you're not together, or whether you're friends with benefits or not friends with benefits. I think that if you're having a good time and it's going well, and I don't know, it obviously depends. If the problem is coming from you want something more and you don't know how to say it, or you want a different kind of, I don't know, you want to change something, then fair enough, you have a problem. But if everything's pretty good and let's say you're seeing them a lot, they give you as much attention as you feel you need or you want, and everything seems to be going well, the sex is good, just keep doing what you're doing. There's no reason to sort of make it into anything. Like, I would just carry on, and like obviously those feelings are gonna build and stuff, but I don't know, I think ride the wave, and then like, yeah, just ride the wave, I would say.
I think...
I mean, I feel like you will, like, inevitably, because either he's going to want to be with you or he's not going to want to be with you.
No, because I think you got it right in terms of, like, the labels thing and getting freaked out about the labels thing. But if you do choose to say something, you have to know that is going to change the dynamic in some way. Whether that's for, like, a minute or for a few days or a few weeks, it's going to change the dynamic.
Yeah, but also I think if you are going to say something, you have to be fine with it, with not getting the answer that you wanted, and then you have to be fine with walking away. So it's either, okay, am I going to take this risk so I can potentially get this, like, to the next stage, or am I going to take this risk and lose everything? So to me, it's just a decision of, you have to take it as, like, the worst case scenario. So it's just a decision between, do we end it? Because you said he doesn't want anything serious. So chances are he's going to say no.
Yeah.
So either you end it, because if you say how you feel and he's like, well, no, I don't want to. And then, well, I guess you can keep fucking and like, it's fine, but you're fucking yourself over either. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no need for you to tell him in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like unless there's a chance that you feel like he has feelings too, or they, I mean, I'm not assuming that, you know, there's no need to say it unless it gets to a point where you're like, I have to give a justification for not being able to sleep with them anymore. Or like, you don't even have to, but if you feel like you do want to.
Yeah, I think just, it's all about, okay, realistically, what do I want? Do I, like, want to be in a full-on relationship with this person in which, like, obviously the relationship we have right now isn't enough, so I need to say something. So that's what you have to do. If that's really what you want, I don't think there's any point in you staying in it and, like, keep fucking him if it's really not what you want. In the same way that if what you want is, like, you're having great time with him and there's actually not really any pressure on putting this label or, like, making it into something more serious, then, like, you already have what you want. So I feel like it's just about really determining, like, okay, what do I have, and is it enough? Is it what I want? Is it making me happy? Or will this make me happier? Do you know what I mean? And then go from there. Like, what is it that you really want?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go about it. Really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. The best thing I've seen on the internet this week is parents reacting to WAP. Because I'm writing my dissertation on WAP. So this was important research.
That's so on brand.
I know. This was important research for my dissertation. But it's genuinely so funny. Like, I made my week. But yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to us and for yet another week.
Yes, this is crazy that we're so many weeks into this podcast.
I know, time's gone by so quick.
Yeah, it really has. And we know that you guys have loads of suggestions. So if you want to suggest anything, please, you can literally message us, email us, DM us, whatever you want on any of the social media. It's in our description. Please, literally, if you want to talk to us, we don't care. Just message us. Say, oh, you guys should do this, or you guys should talk about this, or post about this if there's something where you live in the country that you live in that you want us to talk about or learn about. Just tell us.
Yeah. We recently got our first fan mail.
Oh, yeah.
Just someone sending us an email saying hi. So that was really nice. Thank you so much for that. really made my day.
And also, please, if you listen every single week, or if this is like the second episode that you've listened to, please leave us a review. We really want to know what you guys think. We don't want to just produce stuff and put it into the world and then not hear anything. So please just tell us. It'll be really nice to know.
Yeah, we really want to know what you guys think.
And we are very soon going to be launching our website.
Yeah, and Honey's been working so hard on it, so
yeah, give us some
definitely
love.
check that out.
And there's going to be a little submission point where you can anonymously submit
yes, finally
your answers for the segment, because I know so many people have been saying they want that. Yes, whatever you want, we will give it to you. So yeah, that will hopefully encourage people to submit stuff, and we're gonna have a blog page where you can write stuff for us, and we just want to make it like a nice community.
Yeah, so if you want to write for us, also get in touch, because we definitely want to like collaborate, as we always say, you know.
Yeah,
so definitely get in touch if you have any wise words to say.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest,
oh yeah, for sure,
we want to have you.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
And as always, we will see you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi. Produced by Mabel Productions.